Beginning this project, we had a house and a garage, and we wanted to add the studio and the shed to the back of the garage. The garage is a timber structure with a tiled roof, and we wanted to add to this building a storage shed and a studio in such a way that it tied into the garage and seemed to be one continuous building. Keeping these materials for the new structure would keep the design language the same and be sympathetic to the environment the house is in. We wanted to give the studio large windows to let in lots of nice natural light. We started construction during the first COVID-19 lockdown in 2020. We had planning approval and suddenly found ourselves with ample time to build. We filmed multiple stages of construction to share. This building was created by my partner and I over a couple of months. We reused a concrete base from an old storage shed and added additional concrete foundations before building up a couple of layers of bricks for the timber structure to sit on. Due to the studio being the same height all around, we batch cut the sticks for the outer walls so that we could lay them out and assemble them in one go. Breaking down the construction like this made it much easier since there was just two of us to build it. We used a nail gun to stick the frame together. We built it on blocks to ensure that we did not translate unevenness in the slab into the frame. We used thicker sticks at the end of the building since this wall was going to be supporting the roof. Using some props as supports, we raised up the far corner of the building to start bringing the structure into the third dimension. This part of the building was relatively quick. We also changed to stop motion as a method of filming, so sit back and watch us build. So we could tie in the new building to the garage, we needed to remove the cladding to reveal the structure. The frame of the garage was thus connected to the frame of the shed and the studio, making it in effect one building. Here we're creating the doorway to the shed. And here we're bringing in some glass doors that my partner had kept, which would become the door and the window to the front of the studio. Here we're adding 2 layers of sticks to the top of the frame. This is to add strength and stability, further tying the walls together and making a stronger base for the roof timbers. Not bad for a day's work. Here you see me on a windy day starting to put up the house wrap. We didn't wrap the end wall, but instead temporarily clad it with the wood that came off the garage. This was because we didn't want to cut a hole in the wrap for the windows until they arrived. It would be easier to adapt the frame if the windows were slightly off if the house wrap wasn't in situ. We also added sticks to support the fire-proof cladding on the boundary wall. We patched any other areas of wood with the house wrap and clad the front of the studio and the shed, and then replaced the cladding at the exposed side of the garage. Here you see us constructing the doors for the shed. On the left, you'll see me building 2 towers of scaffolding to give us a platform to work from when building the roof. On the right, you'll see my partner creating the handle and latch mechanism for the door. And here we're putting up 3 exceptionally long and heavy beams of wood which we will later combine into the main ridge beam of the building. These were incredibly heavy on their own. We wouldn't have been able to lift them together if they were a single beam. We batch cut the 22 roof timbers and I painted the ends of the exposed part of the beams. I then proceeded to batch drill all the holes. This was much easier on the ground than when it would be to do almost 5 metres into the air. Pre-screwing all the bolts also helped a ton. My partner is putting a hole into the cladding to tie it into a post he's installed in the garage where the ridge beam will sit. We then lift each beam, glue and screw them together, and later we come back and bolt them together. The next day, we carefully measure and put into place the roof trusses. My partner pulls a short straw and he has to screw them all into the ridge beam. Luckily the bolts are already in place. We cover the roof in house wrap and pin it in place with strips of wood which we will affix the roof tiles to. This makes the building watertight. Here I'm drilling holes to run the electric whilst my partner puts in the wires for a smoke detector. Then I start the awkward job of fitting insulation. This insulation has brilliant acoustic properties as well as thermal insulating. Finally the windows arrive and we're able to clad the outer wall. I painted the cladding whilst we were waiting for the windows to arrive. I hope you liked part 1 of the studio build. Be sure to subscribe to see the next stage of construction. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.